Peace, beautiful beings, and welcome to Life Hello TV. Today I want to talk about the concept of doing versus being. This is something that I struggle with tremendously, something that I'm still growing, navigating, exploring through. And I know it's something that we all struggle because of how society is set up. Society is set up to ingrain in us from a very young age the concept of doing, and then as we become conscious beings, we start understanding the being part, the human being, and it becomes a tough thing because we have spent years integrating doing into our lives. So then being becomes such a new concept that it might take time, not only to understand, but also to integrate into our daily reality. So what is doing? Doing is the action, just like it says, of actually doing physical things, while being is the conscious effort to be present, to just be alive. To be is to essentially be at the vibration of who we are, right? So we live in a society where we have bills, we have to sustain a job, we have children, we have, again, society is set up in a way that being doesn't necessarily work. It's a new paradigm that we are shifting into, but there is still an existing paradigm that we are in. So why I wanted to make this video is there is a question that I've been exploring, and I suggest everyone explore. And that question is, what are you being in the doing? So every single day we're doing things, and it's almost in a sense, we're stuck on survival mode of like having so much anxiety now, and which leads us to constantly do things. And this anxiety is like fear of not being successful, backed up by fear of not living up to your full potential, or the fear of not having money, the fear of not being able to travel, the fear of just not making it, like whatever society has led you to believe making it is. So now we have so many of us with so much anxiety, so we're doing. And in that doing, we become unconscious. We lose sight of the being, which is the important part, which, as I mentioned, it's being in the present moment and being who we are. It's just this full awareness of all that is. And when you're fully aware and present, there is so much beauty, so much understanding, and so much peace that you are vibrating out into the universe, which allows great things to come. But if you are so stuck in the doing, right, and you're doing, and in that doing you lose sight or understanding of what you're being, then what are you attracting? So you could be working really hard to attract a, incredible life, but if the vibration you are sending, which is the language of the universe, if that vibration you're sending out into the universe is saying fear, lack of security, anxiety, like, what are you attracting? So I challenge you that, no matter what it is that you are engaging in, every activity that you engage in, that you ask yourself the question of, in this doing, what am I being? Right? So in a conversation, which is a doing, in a conversation you're having with someone, what are you being in that doing? Right? Be conscious of that. Start training your mind to be conscious of what you are being at every minute, because the being is the vibration and the frequency which the universe is reading from you. It's the signal that you are sending out, and that signal is what brings back to you what is necessary for you, to create this reality, to turn, that signal back is what makes things become physical in this realm. So, with me, I ask myself constantly, when I'm in the doing of being a spiritual guide for others, who am I being, right? What vibration am I holding? Is it the vibration of love, or is it the vibration of, perhaps thinking I could be better than someone else, or know more than someone else? What am I being? What is the signal that I'm sending? Because a lot of us are unconscious in the doing. We're doing. We don't even know who we're being in the doing. So once you are constantly doing, you go to work, you come home, you sleep, you wake up, you go to work again, you come. There is so much doing You have no idea what you're being, and then 40 years, 50 years, 30 years go down the line, and your reality doesn't look like what you wanted to create. And the reason why it doesn't look like what you wanted to create is because you had no awareness of what you were being throughout the time of creating, which is the doing. Being is significantly more important than the doing. I had a friend tell me that, she was unhappy at the place where she was working because she wanted to be in front of others. She wanted to network. She wanted to be able to build rapport with people and build clientele through serving. But the job where she was at was only allowing her to host. And she was so stuck in the doing. She was thinking about the doing, like, I only get to host. I don't get to be a server. Not forgetting that the most important part is the being. So, because the being is what is sending out the signal to the universe and to the beings around you. We are energetic beings. So, what signal is she sending when she's sitting there and she's like, oh my God, all I am is a host. This sucks. I'm not really getting to interact with anyone. That's the signal she's sending. So I challenge her to focus on the being instead. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter necessarily what you're doing. If you are being what it is that you want to attract. So focus on the being. That is most important. Although not the universe, society, the structure where the paradigm, the matrix that we are in teaches you to focus on the doing and lies to you that is the most important thing. That is not true. You are an energetic being. We have to start stepping out of the matrix, stepping out of the paradigm, and and looking at the world and analyzing it for what it is from our own perception instead of the perception that was given to us. Because if you think about, there's a lot of people that work really hard. You see, there's plenty of people. You think about family members for me, being an immigrant. I have family members that work very, very hard. But how come they're working very hard has not brought them the physical reality that they want? It's because there is a hidden agenda behind this constant programming of doing. They're lying to us and not allowing us to tap into the information that is ours, our birthright of knowing the truth of how this reality actually functions. The reality functions off energy. So focus on the being. Again, train your mind and ask yourself, in this doing, what am I being? Align your doing with the being. Because for me, when I am in client sessions, I am constantly being love. I am constantly being a comrade. I am constantly being a guide, knowing that the person in front of me is self-healing and I am not the person in charge of their self-healing journey. I am simply a guide. A signpost. Like many others have been a signpost in my journey. We are signposts for each other. I never forget what I'm being. And it's a practice. You have to practice to start asking yourself, what am I being in this doing? What am I being in this doing? Because a lot of us, what we're being is not who we are. And in all the doings, right? You're at work, not being who you are. You're in relationships, not being who you are or not being what you want to attract, right? You could be in relationships and your doings does not align with the signal that you want to send to your universe of what kind of partnership you are wanting to create. Focus on the being. And it's hard because, again, we are shifting in paradigm. The universe is waking up. It's pushing us. We're in or walking into the Aquarian age. There's different thoughts on that. But we're leading to a golden age, a place of peace and tranquility and consciousness and higher awareness. But we, the people here now, is what's creating the higher awareness. We have to step into that. So for us that is here stepping into and creating the transition, it is difficult because the world functions on doing, in a sense, right? You think that is doing because you have to do to be able to survive. You have to do, but it's the both. And it's the being and the doing, but also consciously understanding that the being is most important because we are energetic beings. So yes, we are supposed to do. I'm not saying to just be there meditating and sending out frequency out into the world and expecting $20,000 just arrive in your mail. But I'm saying when you are creating things, when you are manifesting things into your life, when you are doing, be conscious of who you're being in the doing. That is what I'm challenging you today to do today. Okay? So again, the question is, what am I being in this doing? Analyze yourself. There's a lot of times you get caught up in the doing and you lose sight of the being. and who you're being, it is not exactly who you want to be, or the signal you want to send out. You're just too focused on the doing because society has told you that is most important. Okay, so make that mindset shift, change your life. Start taking full ownership and power of the spiritual experience that you are having as a human being. All right. I love you. Take care of yourself. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me, if you have questions about the universe, how does matrix work? If you have questions about your life that you want to sit with me, so I ask you the right questions so you're able to navigate and actually speak out loud, get things out of you. If you want to have a session where you are speaking spirit to spirit, authentically, vulnerably, raw, so you get to the answers that is needed for you to shift your life the way that you can do, because you're so powerful. That is what I'm here for. I am a spiritual guide for others, focused on wellness, self-mastery, and homing, bringing people, humanity back home. Okay, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. You're the most important person in the world. Don't you ever forget it. All right, peace and love. And really quick, before if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. There is so much more I'm going to be putting out because this is important. We are at a place of change. And I definitely want to be a beacon of change. I want to be a person that is in a spirit that is fighting for the change, because I know and I believe that we all can do it. One humanity. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Mwah. Comment below if this has resonated with you, and please make sure to share. All right, that is it. Love you. Peace.